Turn an old map into a stunning work of art in just 10 minutes. Whether you're a seasoned DIY enthusiast or just starting out, this project is a great way to get creative and give your home a unique touch. In this tutorial, we'll show you how to transform an old map into a beautiful piece of wall art that's perfect for any room. First things first, let's talk about the materials you'll need. You'll need an old map, preferably one with a lot of character and interesting details. You can find these at thrift stores, antique shops, or even in your grandma's attic. Next, you'll need some scissors, a craft knife, and a cutting mat to protect your work surface. Don't worry if you're not a pro at cutting, we'll get to that part later. You'll also need a frame, but don't worry, we'll cover that in a minute. Finally, you'll need some decoupage medium, which is basically a special kind of glue that's designed for applying paper to other surfaces. It's easy to find at most craft stores or online. Now that we have our materials, let's talk about the process. The first step is to choose the right map. Look for one with a lot of interesting details, like mountains, rivers, or cities. Avoid maps with a lot of blank space, as they won't look as interesting on the wall. Once you've chosen your map, it's time to start cutting. Use your scissors or craft knife to cut out the interesting parts of the map, like the mountains or the city. Don't worry too much about being precise, we'll get to that later. Just focus on cutting out the parts that you like the most. Now that you've cut out your map pieces, it's time to start arranging them. This is where the fun begins, as you get to be creative and choose how you want to display your map pieces. You can arrange them in a collage, create a pattern, or even make a 3D design. The possibilities are endless, so don't be afraid to experiment. Just remember to leave some space between the pieces, as you'll be applying decoupage medium later. Once you've arranged your map pieces, it's time to apply the decoupage medium. This is the special kind of glue that we talked about earlier. Apply a thin layer to the back of each map piece, and then attach it to the wall or the frame. Make sure to smooth out any air bubbles or wrinkles as you go. You can also use a credit card or a similar tool to get rid of any excess decoupage medium. Now that you've applied the decoupage medium, it's time to add a coat of varnish. This will protect your map pieces from dust and moisture and give them a nice glossy finish. You can use a water-based or solvent-based varnish, depending on your preference. Just apply a thin layer and let it dry according to the instructions. Once your varnish is dry, it's time to add a frame. This will give your map a nice finishing touch and make it look like a professional piece of art. You can use a pre-made frame or get creative and make your own. Just make sure it's the right size for your map and that it's sturdy enough to hold everything in place. Now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about some advanced techniques. If you want to add some extra depth to your map, you can use a technique called layering. This involves applying multiple coats of decoupage medium, allowing each coat to dry before adding the next. You can also use different colors or textures to create a unique effect. Just remember to experiment and have fun with it. It's all about being creative. Another technique you can try is using a technique called distressed edges. This involves using a craft knife or scissors to create a rough, uneven edge around the map pieces. This will give your map a vintage, worn look that's perfect for a rustic or bohemian-inspired room. If you want to add some extra sparkle to your map, you can use a technique called glittering. This involves applying a thin layer of decoupage medium to the map pieces, and then sprinkling glitter on top by technology. Make sure to use a non-toxic glitter that's safe for indoor use. You can also use different colors or shapes to create a unique effect. Now that we've covered some advanced techniques, it's time to talk about some common mistakes to avoid. One of the biggest mistakes people make is using the wrong decoupage medium. Make sure to choose a medium that's specifically designed for applying paper to other surfaces. You can also use a medium that's designed for wood or other materials, but make sure to follow the instructions carefully. Another common mistake is applying too much decoupage medium. This can cause the map pieces to become too thick and heavy, which can lead to a messy, uneven finish. Make sure to apply a thin layer and smooth it out as you go. Finally, make sure to plan ahead and allow enough time for each step of the process. This project can take a few hours to complete, so make sure to set aside some time to work on it. And that's it. You've now transformed an old map into a stunning work of art that's perfect for any room. Whether you're a seasoned DIY enthusiast or just starting out, this project is a great way to get creative and add some unique touches to your home. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out our next video on how to create a beautiful piece of wall art using old book pages.